Yo, what's going on? I guess we live. All
Yeah, we are live now. We're live.
right, we live. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this week's edition of Unrivaled Sports Live. I'm Major. You got Cash Money Malone with us. Uh, Joey is faking being sick after the Alabama loss this past week and didn't want to come on the show, I think, because he knew I was going to talk Tennessee and Alabama football tonight. So he's faking a sickness. He says he's got an upper respiratory issue and doesn't feel well and lost his voice. It sounded like he was faking a hoarse voice to me.
Yeah, he got Rocky Top fever.
He got Rocky Top fever. Right?
Rocky Top fever.
All right, hold up. Give me just a second. My microphone's off the table, so let me fix it real quick.
And then you can't beat Rocky Top fever. There's no cure for it, Joey.
No cure for Rocky Top. No cure. Look.
There's not going to be any myself on my own channel. I ain't gonna stand for it. It was rough. It was rough, but it had to happen sometime. And well, it was horrible. But no, that game sucked. Every minute of it. Even when Alabama was coming back, I was like, it sucked because it's now. That's what you get when you dive into it as much as I did. It was a fun 15 years.
Yeah, they have fun for 15 years. All right. Well,
and I don't even know if y'all.
I can't believe you. Yeah, we can hear you. I can't believe you.
I'm gonna watch.
Hey, man.
Anyway.
Oh, I knew I could get him on one way or another. So, look, man, we're going to start it off real quick. We're going to run down some high school football. I think what we're going to do first, Dylan. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to run down some high school football. I'm going to give y'all some scores, and then you've got some the brackets maybe, or talk about
some I'm going to discuss some of the playoff stuff that's right around the corner.
Okay. So go over the scores real quick. Orange Beach last week, 48-0 over Wilcox Central. They're at home this week against the Escambia County in a region game. Gulf Shores was off. They'll be at Viger this week in a region game. Foley, who's 4-1 in the region, 43-41 over Davidson. They're at home against Daphne, who is 3-2. That could be a big ball game there in that region game. So that's going to be something to watch. Alberta lost 42-0 to Viger. They are at home this week against BC Rain in a region game. Alberta's still undefeated in the Law Column. Robertsdale lost 42-13 to Spanish Fort. They're at home against Mary G. Montgomery this week. Baldwin County High School 62-56 against Murphy. A loss. They're at home against St. Paul's. I guess the upside to that game was Baldwin County had not scored double-digit points all year. Mm-hmm. They scored 56, so things are looking up. I mean, they scored 56. So, hey, Daphne with a 14-9 loss to Mary G. Montgomery. They are at Foley. Fairhope 37. They're at home against Baker in a region game. Spanish Fort was a 42-13 win over Robertsdale. They're at home against Murphy in a region game. Bayside Academy 66-48 over Escambia County. They're at home against Satsuma in a region game. St. Michael's lost 28-6 to Jackson. Jackson High School has been on a roll. They are now 5 in a row in the win column. So they're kind of getting these going, heading into this end of the year region play and playoffs. They're kind of starting to find themselves a little bit. The St. Michael's. Okay, so St. Michael's is at TR Miller in a big region game this week. That's going to be big.
That's a huge game.
Because let's see. I think I sent y'all a text message earlier. Orange Beach, St. Michael's, and one other team are all tied right now. in the region. So some of these region games this week are going to be pretty important. They're must wins, I guess, depending on what seeding they get, depending on what the seeding does. And then Snook Christian 61-30 loss to Wilcox Central. Snook is 0-8. They are at home this week against the 9 Sparta Academy. Good thing about that game, somebody's coming out with a win.
Somebody got to win.
So that's your high school scores. Dylan's going to talk a little bit about the playoffs and stuff coming up, and some of these region games coming up. Dylan could. Right now, we've got the brackets, but I see where some of them are set in, some of them aren't. So some of these region games this weekend could be, as far as seeding and who you play, could play a big role in that.
And that's what I always say about playoff football. When you get up north, you have your dominant teams. Usually in the South, the brackets are wide open. That's why you see on the North bracket, a lot of those teams are already locked in red. And on the South bracket, you see a lot of teams that are locked in black, which means they're playoff eligible. They just haven't released the standings yet. So some of the notes I have, like down here in the South, we're looking at, if the playoffs started today, you would have Orange Beach at home against Booker T. Washington. And then you would have St. Michael going on the road against the juggernaut Montgomery Catholic. I think Montgomery Catholic is going to win the 4A outright. I think they're my favorite to win the 4A championship. So all roads in the South bracket lead to Montgomery Academy. Moving up to 5A, I love the way they designed this 5A bracket in the South. My 2 favorite teams in 5A being Gulf Shores and UMS. If they meet up again, it will be in the 5A semifinals to go to state. I think they did that for a reason. Like we've been talking about this for weeks. That will be a huge game. I'm cheering for both Gulf Shores and UMS to make it to that game to see a rematch in 5A. 6A is wide open. 6A in the South is wide open. You got your Saraland, St. Paul, Spanish Fort, all in Region 1. 6A Region 1 is wide open. But still, out of the North, you got Clay Chalkville. So I believe in 6A, all roads lead to Clay Chalkville.
Yes, no doubt.
Moving up to 7A, we have Foley, who's been a bounce-back season. Daphne and Foley play this week. It's going to be a huge game. Fairhope is still in that region as well. But once again, in 7A, the favorites, Central Phoenix City will play. I think they have either Daphne in the first round. The playoffs came out today. They have Daphne. But you got Central Phoenix City, you have Auburn in the South, and then up north you got the big boys with Thompson. So I love the way that Daphne has played in the region, Foley has played in the region, and Fairhope has played in the region. But in 7A, when you got a team loaded with 5 5-star prospects like Thompson has, or 3 5-stars like Auburn has, I mean it's just like I said, Fairhope. I love Fairhope. Love what they got going on. Their quarterback's playing good. I actually got some inside information that they've installed a new defense. So their defense has improved dramatically. But once again, when you get up there and to the north region of 7A, when you have your Hoovers and your Thompsons, Central Phoenix City, all those teams. Yeah. Good luck, Chuck.
It's hard to compete. I mean, not hard to compete. I mean, they can compete, but those teams up there are big time. They pull in a lot. A lot of the big time recruits and stuff up there. A lot of people move in and stuff. But go ahead.
No, I said one thing too is I know a lot of people that watch this show are big time Orange Beach Mako fans, and there's nothing wrong with being a fan. I get it, but I'm just speaking non-biased facts here when I talk about playoff football.
Yeah,
Orange Beach is now in 4A. They made a huge jump between 2A to 4A.
Yes.
When you get into the playoffs, your star players can't play both ways. Not the full 48 minutes.
No.
So if Orange Beach is playing their star athletes 48 minutes in a 4A playoff game, they're going to be gassed by halftime.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Gassed by halftime, and you're not putting up 48, 49 points in the playoffs. You're just not. So I know a lot of these games like Bayside and Orange Beach was in the 80 total points scored. Yeah. When they played St. Michael, it was almost close to 90 points scored. So when you get up there to these other schools, like if whoever meets up with Montgomery Catholic, got a huge humbling experience coming. So if you think you're going to roll into Montgomery Catholic, playing your star players both ways, good luck. I believe right now, and this is not me being, what's the word? I'm not being meek here. If Montgomery Catholic were to play St. Michael or Orange Beach today, I'm thinking the score is going to be 48-0. They might not score.
Yeah.
So, but once again,
I'm with you, man. I mean, I'm the same way. Like, we had talked about this while we were there watching a game at Orange Beach about the players playing both ways. And I talked about, matter of fact, I think it was a T.R. Miller game. It was before halftime started, and you had guys out there with hands on hips.
Yep.
And when you play some of these bigger boys even though it's 4A, they're going to have guys, they're going to be too deep on each side of the ball. And they can get fresh legs in there for a couple minutes in and out, where you got guys going in playing both ways, coming off the ball on defense and turn around, going right back on offense. Exactly. And I think they've even got a couple that are on defense that are on punt return, or offense that are on the punt team,
Yeah, there's 3 players. There's 3 players on the Orange Beach team alone that plays starting on offense, start on defense. Then they don't come off the field.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, is we don't get paid the big bucks to coach, high school football, because now high school football coaches are making 6 figures. Yeah. If you're a stud player that plays on defense for you, you're only player on your team that has a D1 college offer. If it's third down, he comes in the game on offense, what do you think the ball's going?
Oh,
it's not rocket science. I mean, if I have a stud on offense, I bring him in on third down. The one thing he's going to be is a blocker or a decoy. I'm not going to be third and 12.
Decoy all the way. All the way.
I'm not 3rd and 12 and hoping for a miracle. Come on now. I mean, you can't do this kind of coaching in the playoffs, because you're going to get exposed, and it's a totally different ball game.
Yep, sure is. No doubt about that. Well, I'm getting kind of excited. Like some of these games, I really like to see some of these games. Who did we talk about? Who would be at home? Who'd you say would be at home if they played right now?
Orange Beach would be at home against Booker T. Washington.
Okay, so that I would
go Shores. Yeah, whoever ends up getting that number 1 seed in 5A between Gulf Shores and UMS, they would have the first round home game. Yeah. But man, I'm just licking my chops. I just want to see playoff matchups. I would love to see Saraland and Clay Chalkville in the championship game in 6A.
Yeah.
I would love to see Central Phoenix City and Thompson in 7A.
Yep.
And I wish I could get a Gulf Shores UMS in 5A, but that game is going to be who comes out of the South. Saying as long as Gulf Shores and UMS stay healthy throughout the playoffs, that game is probably going to be the game of the year.
Yeah, that would, and man, I wish that game was in Gulf Shores. I mean, I maybe somehow it ends up being in Gulf Shores. I don't know. We'll have to look at it and see. If it does, know where Unrivaled Sports will be.
I know one thing. After the results of last game they played, it won't be in UM. It won't be in Mobile.
Yeah, probably not. They may have to play that one at Bayside Academy's field or something neutral.
It'll be a neutral site game. Yeah. Be the first ever high school non-championship neutral site game.
Yeah, if Monroe County's not playing, we'll have to see if we can get more Monroe County field.
Hey, I'm telling you, they might can play in Orange Beach, because I think the Mako's going to be at home.
Could be.
We got fresh sod, but I'm just saying. But anyways, before we get too deep into the high school thing, I want to go back. I wish we got Joey. I know you're listening. I know you're sick right now, but you need to come up with some kind of recap button, because I'm pretty sure me and Major both sang Rocky Top last week. And I don't understand. I'm gonna go buy you a Jalen Hyatt jersey to remind you of what he did to y'all with 5 touchdowns. 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but a 5-piece. The only time I get a 5-piece is when I go to Popeyes and they ask me if they want white or dark, and I say mixed. That's the only time I get a 5. I mean, and I know me and Major here are both Auburn fans, But come on, man, y'all give up 52. Or was it 56? No, I think it was 52. It was 52. 52. They gave up. But my goodness. Smoke them if you got them. I wish I had a cigar right now. I'd be blowing one up. Smoking if you got them.
Yeah, well, and look, I'm gonna dive off into that a little bit. I guess when we get into college, because that was one thing I was going to talk about. I mean, we're going to talk about the fact that we're at Wednesday, 4 days removed from that game, and I'm still seeing Alabama fans post about the referees, the referees, the referees, the referees, the referees. Well, I'm just here to tell you, the referees did for 385 yards and 5 touchdowns. And not one referee caught a ball for 207 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Sure did.
So, I mean, I'm just saying.
Now let me say something to Alabama fans. Okay, I'm an Auburn fan, so let me get that out of the way. I'm fine with the Outback Bowl. I have realistic expectations, but as an Alabama fan, how can you consider a game a rivalry game if you won 15 years in a row? If you're a true fan, like the Lakers and the Celtics, Yankees and the Red Sox, all these big time rivalry games, the other school has to eventually win. So that's why I can't stand an Alabama fan, because y'all aren't part of Nick Saban's program. You supporting the school, but you ain't out there running suicides in stadiums. Like, you act like we lost. Did you not know? Every time Alabama Crimson Tide football loses every time they lose a game, that is the most reported domestic violence calls in America. And that's why I don't like the fans. Like, I'm gonna start an Unrivaled Sports care package with Band-Aids and ice packs for all of our listeners. Whenever Alabama loses, just go ahead. I mean, if I was a drywall installer, I would move to Tuscaloosa. I would never go out of business.
Hey, look, we talked about this last year. I actually talked to a friend of mine that's a psychiatrist, and we were actually talking football. And I asked him, we were talking about why Alabama fans go so and he was explaining to me that, nowadays, and some of the people who've been here and seen this have heard this before. Some of you that are new haven't. But he actually told me that Alabama fans, it's been ingrained in them, and they've won so much that when they lose, they cannot handle it. That they just can't handle losing. And that's why they act out the way they do when they lose. And I mean, you do have some good fans. You do have. But you do have some of those that he's taught that absolutely cannot handle losing. And I mean, a perfect example of that is what's his name? He's got too much Alabama in him, Updike.
Oh yeah, Harvey Updike.
That is a perfect example of not being able to handle it. I mean, he actually said it. He said that's the reason that they can't handle losing is because they've won so much that it's ingrained in them, and they can't handle the actual losing of a ball game. And 100%. He says it's just a psychiatric thing or whatever. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting whenever we had talked about that day. I was like, now I understand.
But okay, I get your psychiatrist friend, but this is how I look at it. So most of us who are on this show or talking on this show have had a job since we were 13 or 14 years old. So we're accustomed to going to work every day. Now, when I get a day off, I don't go into some kind of depression because I'm off work. So as a football fan, that's just like the Patriots, and I get they say, oh, everybody hates a winner. No, I actually respect Nick Saban and Alabama football. It's just you can't win them all. Tennessee was the better team that year, and like Major said, the referees didn't allow 52 points scored. They didn't allow that. So I guess hold on one second. But you just can't allow that. You can't allow that in a game they expect to win. Now we're diving in, most Alabama fans can't do basic algebra, but these folks have been doing all kind of pi graphs and a squared plus b squared equals c squared, trying to figure out how Alabama's going to get into the playoffs. What they need to be worried about is Mississippi State this week. That's what they need to be worried about.
So I know we're going to get into your locks here in a little bit, but
sure
whew, whew, I mean, I think we, Joey, I think Joey may be about ready to shut us off if we keep talking about this Alabama Tennessee game. So are you ready to jump into the locks now? You want to go ahead and talk about them, or because I know we've all been kind of busy and kind of doing things this week, and Joey being sick, he didn't write out a script for us or anything, so we didn't. Yeah. We're just kind of winging it. So that's up to you. If you're ready to go, we can go ahead with that.
Yeah, I usually only give one lock or two locks away on the show now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these games, and not one really strikes my fancy as being a for sure lock. I'm looking at 4 games right now: Ole Miss and LSU. I have no idea why LSU is favored in that game. And it's a 2:30 game in LSU. If it was a night game, I get it, but LSU is favored about 2. I'm liking UCLA plus 6 at Oregon.
So I'm
liking that one.
You're liking UCLA, and I'm liking old Bo Picks.
Yeah, I mean, if that game, if I were to, like I said, that was gonna be a lock, I go with the over. Now Texas is going to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is a 6.5 point dog. See, these
Vegas,
they know something, man.
They do.
They know something. So if I'm trying not to laugh. But if I'm gonna take a lock, give me TCU minus 3. That's my lock for the show. TCU minus 3. They're playing Kansas State.
TCU minus 3. Joey, I don't know how to do that. Can you put that up on the
yeah, I got it.
On the chat.
No, I was just on, and I was just gonna say, because we talked about that LSU game and I just couldn't stay out of it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think if you just look at Ole Miss, even they're undefeated, what they did this past weekend when they had Auburn at home, just kind of how they struggled with running the ball, like defending Tank in the run. I mean, I think that line's pretty right. I think it's really kind of a pick if they played a neutral site. They're getting at least 2 points being at home. So I kind of think that's why they're favored there. I kind of think LSU wins the ball game. Kevin hasn't done great in big games. And I mean, this is automatically LSU's coming off probably one of their best wins of the season at Florida. So I don't know. I think LSU's kind of getting things going in the right way. I kind of like the line where it's at. I don't think it's a trap for bettors. I mean, I think LSU probably wins the game by 3 at least.
I think here in this game that Ole Miss has more motivation. Right now, they're in first place in the West with the Alabama loss. So Ole Miss is now number 1 in the West for the first time in God knows when. So I think that does add a little bit more
since Eli Manning was there.
More fuel to the fire. Well, I said since I know when. I mean, Eli was there when I was a little spud. So I think that adds a little bit more fuel to the fire. LSU is playing good. Jaden Daniels played good last week. Ole Miss, like you said, couldn't stop the run. But it's just something fishy about this game to me. If I'm gonna bet this game, I'm gonna bet the over. Because like Joey said, it could be a straight pick. Without points, if it was a neutral site game. So I would bet the over, but I think Ole Miss does have a little bit more motivation coming into this game, just because if they win outright, and their schedule lines up to do that until they play Alabama, if they win outright, they control their own destiny.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm looking at right now in this Ole Miss LSU game is, like you said earlier,
Hey,
Dylan.
real quick, was it
It,
TCU -3?
Yeah, TCU -3.
yeah. So
All right. Sorry to interrupt. I just
LSU.
want to make sure I had that right.
No, you're good. So LSU, Ole Miss. Ole Miss last week struggled a little bit with Auburn. Got a little scare. LSU goes into the swamp, comes away with a big win. And they had to really play up for that game. Like really had to play up. And one thing that I notice about teams is when you get a team that goes up on a big high, like they did against Florida, you get a team on a big high, and then they come back down. And I just think being at LSU at 2:30 in the sun, it's not at night. It's not to me, it's not the same Death Valley as it is at night in a 2:30 game. So I think Ole Miss, like you said, man, they control their own destiny right now. This is a little bit more motivation. I think I'm not going to say that he calls a smarter game because I can't say smarter when it involves Lane Kiffin, but I think Lane Kiffin is a little bit more cautious this week with his play calling, going for it on fourth down, doing all this kind of stuff, because now he knows he controls his own destiny. If he can just win this ball game and squeak through this, get through to the next few weeks, that he's going to be good. So I think Ole Miss is going to win this ball game. Joey does have some good points, but man, this is one of those games that's just like, wow.
Yeah, and that's why I'm staying away from it. Like Ole Miss does control their own destiny, but just looking at their schedule, they haven't played anybody. They beat Kentucky. Will Levis got hurt in that game, and they ended up beating Kentucky, but they've beaten Troy, they've beaten Central Arkansas, they've beaten Georgia Tech, they've beaten who else? They beat Tulsa and Vanderbilt. So now you play an LSU team who is not bad. LSU's decent.
Yeah.
But for everyone talking about Florida and going into the swamp, I mean, that the swamp is not the swamp anymore. The swamp is like a puddle in my backyard after it rains. It's not the old Florida. I mean, they're with Billy Napier there, they're going to get there.
Yeah.
But I am more impressed with LSU's win column than I am with Ole Miss's win column. I think Ole Miss will be playing catch up in this game. So, like I said, if I want to bet, let me see what the over is. I like the over in this game. I think it's going to be high scoring because like Ole Miss can't stop the run. So
right now it's at 68 is what I'm showing. That's a lot of points.
A lot of points. That's a lot of points. But I think it gets there. I think it gets there. I think it gets there. I think this is maybe a 42-35 type ball game.
Yeah. Yeah, it very well could be with these
LSU.
These
LSU can score.
Yeah, LSU can score, and I mean,
they put up 45 on 4 last week.
And you hate to compare one game to the next because every team is different. But I mean, Auburn, who is horrible, just put up 34 against them last week against Ole Miss. So, like I said, every game is different. Every week's different. You're playing a different team, so you're not going to put up.
It's so crazy with I'm looking at LSU's games. So when they played Florida State, they only put up 23. They came back and put up 65 against Southern. They put up 31 against Mississippi State, 38 against New Mexico, 21 against Auburn. They crapped the bed against Tennessee, only put up 13, and then they scored 45 against Florida. Yeah. So they're up and down.
Yeah. Inconsistencies and inconsistencies because also lead to losses. But
stay away from that game. Stay away from that game. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm staying away from it.
So anything? I mean, so you said TCU was your lot. You usually give one or two. Is there any more you want to give out?
Yeah, I'll give out another one. I'm in the giving spirit today.
Oh Lord, here we go.
I'm in the giving spirit.
Get your crayons ready.
Yeah, don't get your permanent markers ready because I'll probably change my mind before Saturday. Let me see. I'm looking, man, and this week is a week I don't really like. I don't understand why Alabama is giving Mississippi State 21 points. I'm going to stay away from that. That's not a lot. Don't quote me on that. I'm staying away from that. I think Alabama's going to come out pissed off. Let me look. I'm trying to look for one of these non-ranked team games. That's a good one. West Virginia, Texas Tech. I like Duke. I like Duke +9 against Miami. I like that game a lot. Riley Leonard, if y'all didn't know, is from Fairhope. He's been playing very, very well recently. So I like Duke. I don't like what Miami has going on, offensively or defensively. They're playing in Miami, which don't mean nothing because Miami ain't sold out a game in years. So I like Duke +9. Those are my two.
I was looking at that one earlier. That was one of the ones I was going through. So there you have it. There's your two picks from Cash Money.
Let's see if we can actually make them work.
Yeah, for this week. And look, if y'all, Dylan, give me a percentage. Do we have a percentage overall for the season so far? Like overall?
Oh, let me see. I actually did it a few days ago in the chat. Last night was not a good night on hockey though. But if, that's just hockey. We're just talking about football.
Yeah, just football for some of the football people in here that invest in football.
Yeah, you got to make sure you use the right word.
Yeah, invest. I almost said it.
I think we're at, let me do this 1, 2. I got it in here somewhere. We're at 74.9%.
74.9%.
Almost 75% on football.
And all of these other sites that people are investing in are at like 40, 50% sometimes. I mean, I don't know that I've heard
CBS is horrible. CBS is less than 30%. They're awful. The closest one to us right now is actually, I hate to say it, is Pickwise. And Pickwise, after last week, they went up to like 62%. But before that, they were in the 40s. They had a really good week last week. And with football, we're not doing terrible. It's just college is usually pretty good to us, except for on Friday nights. You know, those Friday night games are usually hard to pick. It's the NFL. Do you know last week at 12 o'clock? Last week at 12 o'clock games, every underdog won.
See, I didn't pay any attention to that, but man, every week the NFL has gotten so hard to pick. Like teams that you think should not beat a team or be close are coming out and either beating or being within 1 or 2 points of a team.
Like the Jets have no reason to beat the Packers, but they did.
Hey, look, of course, now
we called that game Jets +7.5.
I can't. Yeah. I like the Jets right now. I can't pull them out because they're up under some. Because some of y'all know I'm a big sports card collector and collect baseball, football cards and stuff. I have a Zach Wilson autograph in my thing. I have a couple of Zach Wilson rookie cards that are numbered, some parallel stuff. So I got to pull for the guy. I like the Jets. It's not because of the cards I got, but they are actually playing good ball. I said it when they drafted that they did really good by drafting the way they drafted. They got one of the best cornerbacks in the draft. And in my opinion, got the absolute best running back in the draft in Breece Hall from Iowa State. That kid is amazing. I mean, he's going to be good for a long time to come. And by the way, I had him in my fantasy this week. I think I told y'all to take Breece Hall in some of y'all's fantasies, by the way. But he got me a bunch of points in fantasy football this past week.
Yeah, I think the only thing they swung out on is Garrett Wilson. Now, he hadn't produced much this year. I kind of wish they would have drafted Chris Olave because Chris Olave's turning up in New Orleans. Yeah, but I guess we've already kind of naturally slid into NFL. Yeah. But it's just like I said, I mean, look at the NFC East. You got the Cowboys, they lost. So I'm guessing since Cooper Rush finally lost a game, they're going to start Dak Prescott this week. But the Eagles are undefeated. The Giants are 5-1. The Cowboys, I think, are 4-2. And who else is in that division? The Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, and there's one more.
Commanders.
Yup.
That's the reason we couldn't think about it.
Trash. But the Eagles, man, like I don't know who the Eagles GM is, but they were patient with Jalen Hurts. Has paid off. Yep. You pair Devontae Smith. who is your, your speedster, your deep threat, and then you got AJ Brown, who's just a man child across the middle. Miles Sanders is playing good at running back. Dallas Goedert's at tight end. So that offense is outstanding. Then you move to the defensive side of the ball.
Man.
You cannot run the ball against Philly's front seven.
No,
One,
sir.
they drafted Jordan Davis, who I don't know how he slid that far in the draft.
I don't either.
That kid's amazing out of Georgia. And then you pair him with Fletcher Cox, and then you got Darius Slay at cornerback. I mean, the Eagles are – I don't think they go undefeated throughout the season. They'll slip up a game or two. But the Eagles, I mean, everyone was like, oh, my God, Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. He's this, he's that. But that's one thing I can say about Jalen Hurts is every time someone said that kid can't do something, he goes out and he proves them wrong. So,
yeah.
And that goes back to him, being humble and staying in Alabama, even though Tua was a starter. Then he comes in against Georgia, wins that game. Transfers to Oklahoma, does very well at Oklahoma, finished second in Heisman voting.
Yep.
Then gets drafted by the Eagles, sits behind Carson Wentz, comes in, starts, and now this year he's the full-time starter and he started off at a 6-0 start.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to like the kid. So
yeah, no doubt.
I'm not an Eagles fan, but I mean, I'm pulling for him right now.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him too, and I mean, I'm an Auburn fan, but think about people. People are always like, why are you rooting for that guy? He's from Alabama. Or why, I'm like, look, when they're at Alabama, I can hate them. But once they get to the NFL, I can root for them.
Exactly.
I mean, just because when they're on Alabama, I just don't like Alabama. So I don't care what happens while they're at Alabama.
Exactly.
When they get to the NFL, I can watch their games and I can actually pull for them, root for them. I really like Jalen Hurts right now. I really think that offense is looking really good. Defense is looking really good. Man, they're like, I want to look at their schedule real quick just while we're talking about it, because I want to look down and see who they play, like what their schedule looks like the rest of the way out. So the Steelers this week should be a win.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got the Texans, who are awful. That should be a win. Commanders, awful. That's a win. Colts, up and down, but that should be a win.
That'd be a good game.
Packers, Aaron Rodgers still hadn't got his rookies turned around. That should be a win. Titans should be a win, but I tell you, I really look for the Titans to turn to Malik Willis here pretty soon.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So that if he does well, that could turn that team around.
The Titans ain't got any receivers. That's their biggest thing. I mean, they had, AJ Brown, they traded him.
Yep.
And Robert Woods ain't the answer.
Yeah, and Corey Davis is at the Jets now. So I mean, they're gone. So they've got, and then after that, they've got the Giants, which is going to be a really good game. That'll be a test. And then they got the Bears, who are horrible. The Cowboys again. So that should be another good game.
With a healthy Dak Prescott.
Yeah, but should be, as long as he stays healthy the rest of the year, he should be back into it, getting into the flow really good. He should be locked in by that. So that should be a good game. And then they got the Saints. I don't think they can beat them. And then the Giants again. So they've got some good games coming up towards the end of the season. But I really like Jalen and the Eagles right now. Not as much as I do my Bills, but
that defense. Oh yeah, I know it's way too early, but if you had to go Super Bowl, let's look at the standings. If you have to go Super Bowl lock right now, if you have to go Super Bowl lock, I'm going to go looking at the conferences because your top, and here's the crazy thing, like your top teams right now in the NFC are the Eagles, the Vikings, the Giants, and Dallas.
Yeah. And
usually you see either Green Bay at the top or you see the Rams at the top. And then in the AFC, you got Buffalo Bills, the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the New York Jets.
Yep.
The New York Jets.
The New York teams. The New York teams up there this year.
And the interesting part is, Buffalo is in the leading that division, and the Jets are right behind them. So, but
I
Baltimore,
I think that would be a good Super Bowl matchup. That Buffalo Bills Philadelphia game right now, watching those two teams play would be
a good game.
A heck of a Super Bowl. So, All right, so I know we moved into NFL, but one thing I wanted to cover real quick, because I was going to ask you about this in college, and then we'll get to NFL, and then we'll get through this and be done. Me and my dad were talking a while ago because he likes to go over to Biloxi and invest for us. So we were talking about that Alabama game, and he's like, "I'm not touching it," and I was like, I'm like really tempted to take Alabama, and the reason why is because everybody, I guarantee you, if you look at the public right now, I bet you that's into the 80 percentile of Mississippi State after watching Alabama get beat by Tennessee last week.
Let's look at it.
So tell me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be in the mid 70s to like the low 80s, I would think, just because there's 21 points. Alabama's favored 21. So I'm just thinking Vegas is thinking we throw this out there high and everybody's going to jump on Mississippi State. And I want to be part of the few that's like, no, Alabama's coming out pissed off this week and going to win by 4 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my thinking. But I was going to ask you what you thought about that game, but you said you were staying away from it.
One thing I do think, and I'm trying to look at where the money is on Vegas right now for the investment, is Alabama needs a convincing win. Mississippi State is ranked 24. They need to beat the crap out of them to look good for that, that resume at the end of the year.
Yep.
But like you said, it's such a huge line. It's 21.5 points, but Alabama is coming off of a loss. Ooh, yeah. 85% of the money is actually on Alabama.
Really?
85% of the money is on Alabama to cover the spread. Is on Mississippi State. So basically, for all y'all who look at sports and want to learn about investing, so 85% of the people bet on Alabama. That is a huge number for Vegas to have to pay out for investments. So with only 15% of all the money being put on Mississippi State, and Mississippi State is not a slouch. Mike Leach is not a bad coach. This could be a trap game. That Tennessee game took a lot out of Alabama's players. I wouldn't touch it, but the interesting part is 67% of the money is going on the under, and 33% is going to the over. So if I were to invest in this game, I say Alabama wins, Mississippi State covers, and the total goes over.
Yeah. Well, since you've told me the public, like I'm not going to touch that game either, because I totally expected it to be the other way with it being such a big spread on that ball game.
Nope, it's actually
everybody must be thinking like us.
Yeah,
Alabama's going to come out pissed off.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's crazy. That's the thing about spreads. If the spread is 21.5 and the over is only 60, your best bet is to take the over.
Yeah.
If the spread is 21.5, like you got to think Mississippi State's not going to get blown. I mean, they may get blown out, but they may put up 21 BS points.
Yeah.
So if the spread is 21 and Mississippi State has already put up 21, that means Bama has to score what? That 42?
42.
So 42 plus 21, that's 63.
Yeah.
So there's your spread. I mean, there's your over under. Yeah. And that's one thing I have to start looking at too and doing more math is when those spreads get so high, you're better off taking the over.
I'm sorry, I keep getting ridiculed about looking at the camera, but I'm trying to look at you to watch your expressions and everything, and I need to be looking at the camera. So I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera. All right, so back to NFL, man. Let's run down anything you want to go over on the NFL, and then I'll talk a little bit of fantasy, and then we'll jump off of here and let the people go to bed and let us get some rest and go to bed ourselves. I got to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, I'm getting up early in the morning. I'm not getting up early in the morning for work. I'm trying to go see where those redfish and sheephead held up at.
Oh, Lord. I hear you.
I got an engagement tomorrow, early in the morning.
All right.
So Thursday night we got my team, the Arizona Cardinals and the Saints. Both of them 2-4. I hate this whole thing with Amazon and Prime Video. Every Thursday night game's been absolutely trash. They've all been trash. You pay for Prime Video and you get a piss poor product. Both teams are garbage right now. The Cardinals and the Saints. Stay away from it. Sunday we actually had some very good games. First kicking off, you got the Falcons and the Bengals. The Bengals are favored by 6.5. The Falcons are looking good. I like the Falcons in that game. The Lions and the Cowboys. You got the Colts and Titans, Green Bay and Commanders, Buccaneers, Panthers. So there's a lot of good games. Whoa. Timeout. Where's your little upset alert button at? I didn't even see this. The Denver Broncos are favored against the New York Jets. How?
Man.
How?
Hold on just a second. We'll if we need to go ahead and hit it, we can hit it. I don't know how that's even. I guess because of the defense, but look, we'll just go ahead and do it. Upset for the weekend right here. I'm telling you, the Jets, baby. Jets, Jets. Where's Phil Devlin at? Come on, Phil, tell him.
And then another one is you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are favored by 3 to beat the New York Giants. I know Saquon Barkley's he may not play. He's questionable, but the Giants they're a pretty good team. I just don't see the Jaguars pulling it out.
And they're playing. It's not even like they're playing great offense. They're playing good defense right now. And the Jaguars offense has not been playing very well. Like at the first of the year, I was like, oh yeah, all those people that doubted Trevor Lawrence, here he comes. And then
another question mark you got to see that this NFL week looks too easy to pick, but you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs are only 2.5-point favorites against the 49ers.
Yeah.
I don't understand how. I mean, the 49ers have a good defense, but their offense is outside of George Kittle and Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
And then lost a heartbreaker last week against the Buffalo Bills, and that was a 17-14 game. Yeah. I think the Chiefs come out and make a statement. I think it's not going to be close.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think the Chiefs, with a loss last week, bouncing back this week against 49ers offense is not very good. I think they cover that. It's not. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm thinking like on the plus side of 7 points, kind of covering.
Yeah. And then too, I mean, this might be an underdog week. Last week was underdog week. This may be another underdog week because I don't see the Titans beating the Colts. I don't see the Jaguars beating the Giants. The Browns and the Ravens game, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that one will actually be better than what people think it will. Jacoby Brissett, out of nowhere, is playing very good football this year for the Browns.
And Lamar Jackson's not. Lamar Jackson's killing the Ravens every week.
Yes, he is. He is trying to do too much.
But you got to think about it. He has nobody on that offense outside of J.K. Dobbins at running back and Mark Andrews at tight end. They have nobody at receiver. Then I think Rashard he's out. So that's
not only is he trying to be the offense, but I think he's trying to get paid.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, 100%. I think he's trying to do too much to get that money. So.
And that's one thing too. You have to look at with quarterbacks is it's a blessing and a curse. You don't want to pay them too much, and then they get injured. But in this situation, he's one of the only quarterbacks that is still on his rookie deal from the class he got drafted in. Mahomes has signed a huge contract. The kid from Buffalo, Josh Allen, has signed a huge contract. So these quarterbacks with these big guaranteed contracts, they can go out there and just focus on the game. They're not worried about money. Lamar Jackson is that whole entire offense. He's running, he's taking hits and all that. He's trying to secure his future, and he's not worried about securing wins. I mean, I get he's doing way too much,
Yeah.
But I just think a quarterback plays more comfortably with that guaranteed money. Like you got to think about it too. They paid what's the kid from LSU, Joe Burrow. They paid him,
yeah,
and he's playing well. Allen's playing well. Herbert, I don't think Herbert's got paid yet, but it's coming. He's gonna have a huge payday coming soon.
Yeah, Herbert's been without Keenan Allen since the first game, which is hurt because
But
pretty much all he's got Mike Williams.
Yeah, Mike Williams, and you got the Austin Aguilar, who's pretty good. At running back, but I mean they're still in the hunt for it. Their defense keeping them in it, but like you said, Lamar Jackson, he doesn't have any help, and it kind of irritates me too because it's just like in Green Bay. Green Bay never drafts anybody to help Aaron Rodgers.
Yep,
never. They always
and I'm a Packers fan, and it hurts.
I mean, they've passed up on so many. Imagine if Green Bay would have traded up and took somebody like I'm having a brain fart tonight. Jamar Chase, or they took somebody like Justin Jefferson, or these kids who are 1 or 2 years in, these receivers playing on rookie deals. I mean, think about it. Justin Jefferson may be the best receiver in NFL right now, and he's on a rookie deal.
In my opinion right now, he is without a doubt the best receiver in the NFL. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That kid, when you're catching 8 to 12 balls a game and going over 100 yards just about every game.
200.
Yeah, I mean he's gone 200. I know of once. Has he done it twice? I think he's done it once.
All right, so he's third. He's third in the league in receiving right now with 654 yards. So he has 46 catches, 654 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and he's averaging 14.2 yards a catch.
That's not terrible. And what's surprising is that, like, I guess he had 2 kind of down games where I think he only went for less than 100 yards. But what's surprising is Diggs. I've been watching a lot of Buffalo, and I didn't realize Diggs was second in receiving yards right now.
Yep.
But he's also playing with Josh Allen, so I mean that.
But look at this too. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They're both top 5 in receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
But those are a lot of yak yards. Those are a lot of yards after the catch.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp down at 4th. I can't.
But here's what people don't understand. Like Justin Jefferson, I'm looking at his stats right now. He's been in the league for 3 years? He's been in, I think.
He was drafted in 2020, right?
I think so. I think he's been in the league for 3 years.
Yeah, so he played 2020, 2021. This is his 3rd year.
So I'm looking at it right here. For his career, he has 242 catches, 3,670 yards for an average of 15.2 yards a catch and 19 touchdowns.
That ain't too bad.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
But I'll tell you one that's going to be right on his tail too, especially playing if he stays there with Joe Burrow and they keep helping him out. Jamar Chase.
Yep, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is going to be a good one. But
so,
let's see. We were talking NFL. Sorry, we don't have a script tonight, so we probably keep getting off of it. But so I know you usually give a pick in college or 2. Do you give any NFL, or did you want to give any NFL, or try to, or do we need the fans to know that we're at 74% winning in football, and to come on over to Double Down Sports? And
it's going to get. Last night, I knew what was going to happen in basketball. With just real quick touch on basketball. Last night, the Warriors and Lakers played, and the Celtics and the 76ers played. So Boston and the Warriors both played each other last year in the NBA championship game. So a lot of money went on those teams. They both won easily. So I think Vegas kind of knew what was going on with that, with the investments. But going back to the NFL, we're going to do a lot better too with percentage wise once NBA gets started, because I'm good at investing in the NBA. In NFL, I have no idea why the Broncos are a 1-point favorite. I know they have a good defense.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just make sure nobody on the Jets is banged up. The Jets have a lot of people questionable, but the thing is, too, Russell Wilson hurt his hamstring last week, so he has a torn lat. Which, if you don't know what a lat is right back here, a torn lat and hamstring. So he's bummy, and he's already looking like a terrible quarterback. They paid him so much money, and it ain't working out. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator. I don't know, but he is just not that guy this year. They say, "Oh, let Russ cook." Man, Russ couldn't cook ramen noodles right now.
Yeah,
he can't cook ramen noodles right now. He can't even boil. He can't boil water.
No.
And I had so much high hope when you got the running back got hurt. He's out. Javonte
Williams, yeah.
You got a great defense. You got Cortland Sutton. You got Jerry Jeudy. You got the tight end that he finally threw a touchdown to that was out. So if I was gonna make a investment this week, I ain't even worried about that 1 point. Just give me Jets money line.
All right. So
Jets money line. That's my NFL pick of the week.
All right, so there you heard it. Jets money line for your investment purposes this week. Joey, you can put that in there if you would, please. Joey's still listening to us. And Dylan, if you want to go over any NBA real quick, you can. I forgot the NBA started tonight until you said something, and then I rushed in and did me a couple of DraftKings lineups, which I haven't checked yet. But I completely forgot it. So if there's anything you want to go over NBA wise, feel free.
I put some picks into the group tonight. Okay. I got to go back and see how they're doing. Just looking right here. In the group we put the Magic +4. They're losing by 2. Pick the Wizards money line. They're winning by 18. Hawks money line. They're winning. The Pelicans are beating the dog about the Nets. I picked the Nets tonight, but it is what it is. The Grizzlies are winning that ball game, but just with the NBA, a lot of people are. It's more on it's a few teams who have a chance, and everybody else is terrible. The Lakers, we all know LeBron James is in year 20. He ain't the old LeBron James, and they're trying to do too much with two people like LeBron James. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. Russell Westbrook, I have no idea why he's Russell Westbrook right now. But the only team, in my opinion, that has the depth this year to even be worth talking about with the NBA is, of course, you got the Warriors, but the Warriors lost a lot of people in the offseason. But still, Steph Curry he's changed the game of basketball when he can dribble 2 steps up the court and then launch a bomb and all net. Same thing with Klay Thompson. So the Warriors just have an unfair advantage right now. Yeah. And they have one of the best coaches. But I like the Celtics. The Celtics they reloaded. I think they'll win the East. The only team I think that can challenge the Warriors in the West is maybe the Grizzlies. Maybe. Yeah. But after watching what the Warriors did last night to the Lakers and after watching what Boston did to Philly, and Philly's a good team with Embiid and James Harden, I just think we may get a repeat. We may get a repeat of Boston and the Warriors, but Boston did lose their head coach. The head coach was engaged in some after hours coaching sessions. But no, I think too, just the Warriors again and the Celtics. We'll dive more into NBA later. I know this is the South. A lot of people don't like the NBA. It's more of NFL country down here. Yeah. So I'm actually gonna do some studying, man, because it's a lot of stuff that don't make sense on these football games this week.
They'll get to like it in NBA. We'll make them like the NBA when we're like 75-80% on NBA.
We gonna change the NBA's acronym or abbreviation is that right now it's a National Basketball Association. We're gonna change to no broke asses.
There you go. Y'all heard it.
Yeah, no
Y'all
broke
heard
asses.
it here for no broke asses is gonna be the.
Yeah, no broke asses.
And hey, look, you said you took the Nets tonight against New Orleans, and I had to look. So Zion is playing, but I looked at their starting lineup, and unless I missed something, was Valanciunas and CJ McCollum playing for New Orleans Pelicans last year?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that McCollum and Valanciunas were playing for the Pelicans last year. I thought maybe that was a trade coming in this year. That with
No, that
Zion, Brandon Ingram, Herbert Jones, Valanciunas, and McCollum,
yeah,
and then you
that's a
got
pretty that's a
Larry
pretty good
Nance
team.
coming off the bench, and Devontae Graham. That's a pretty good little lineup right there. I didn't know
Yeah,
if they
it ain't bad.
had those guys.
See, I didn't know Zion was playing tonight. That's on me for taking that game so early, but
Yeah,
it's a lot of
let's see. Zion right now is 16 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist so far right now. With 4 minutes to go in the third. So when you said that, I was just looking to see if Zion was playing. I didn't know they had those other guys though.
yeah. I mean, like I said, the Brooklyn Nets. You think with Kyrie and Durant, they
Yeah.
be decent, but I mean, it's still a lot of ball game
Excuse me.
left. But we'll go and there's a lot of other acronyms I could put for the NFL, but this is a kid friendly show.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think we did a pretty good job in an hour of covering in detail high school and detail college and detail NFL, and all that. Now I get a lot of one thing I am too. Now that I'm back, I'm semi back from vacation. I think either on Friday, I don't have much planned. I told everybody I was gonna get on and do like a investment seminar because I do get a lot of messages on Facebook.
Yeah.
And people don't know what the lines mean or the +3 or the +4 or the -3, -4 money line. People don't understand that. So I'm actually going to take this whiteboard off the wall and have my camera solely facing that whiteboard and showing everybody what it means if we say +4, what it means if we say +9, or what if it means, this or that, because all these bets, all these investments have certain things. So if you take an investment and it says +200, and then you take an investment that says -150, and then the +200 wins and the -150 loses, you're still up, but you're not up as much as you would be if you took a -110 and a +110.
Yeah.
So like if I say, our chat, we broke even, that means we broke even on our investments, not necessarily on the win-loss column. Because if we took 3 underdogs and 2 favorites, or we took 2 favorites and 3 underdogs, and those 3 underdogs won, those 2 favorites lost, we're still going to be higher on our investment because of the line number. Yeah. And I know that may be confusing, but I'll break it down very, very elementary style.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're still up. And what people got to understand is my investment on Double Down Sports paid for, I want to say 83% of my vacation to Universal, and I ate good every night. I had lamb. I ate good. I ate real good. It wasn't no McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. We was having, Wagyu. We ate good.
So if y'all want to eat some Wagyu down in Disneyland or Disney World and have some fine nights out with the kids and the missus, all you got to do is come on over to Double Down Sports and get on with us. Mr. Dylan Cash Money Malone be spitting the fire at y'all if y'all don't know. And
a lot of people too, I'm gonna say this because I was walking around down there in certain parts of Orlando, Florida, and one thing that I realized too is, let's talk about just real quick. I'm gonna hit it for 30 seconds and get off of this. A lot of people don't like. They say, "Oh, it's bad to invest." One of the number one sources of income now in this country, outside of a 9-to-5 job, is people investing their bodies. What I mean is these.
Yep.
and other body parts. So this is a kid's show. So if you're investing you're investing your body for someone to look at it, and they're saying that investing in sports is risky. So I would much rather pick a team and then post my feed online. But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me. So I mean, I'm pretty sure if your 9-to-5 job found out that you were, placing an investment on Alabama Crimson Tide, they would be like, okay, whatever. Versus finding out you're investing, your chicken breasts and ham hocks online, they ain't gonna be too happy about that. So
yeah.
So once again, that's all I want to say. And then 2, we got to get I got to get y'all to understand to take your double down profits and actually truly invest in the stock market, which is I'm all for that. But once again, that's another story for another day.
Yeah. I mean,
Joey,
we could go on with several things as far as Mr. Dillon does, but I'll tell you the one thing I wanted to say about when Dillon starts spitting out his locks and when he starts talking about these things, I just had this. I was going to say, this is the one thing you hear. That's the fire alarm, baby. It's getting hot. It's the fire alarm.
Joey, go ahead. I got one thing real quick. I'm gonna let Joey go ahead because I think Joey got one thing to say.
That was officially cheesy. Go ahead.
Hey, you just mad because Alabama lost. Don't be talking about it.
Look, but Joey, I gotta get you to I gotta figure out how to go live on the page to do the seminar. But I know y'all were worried about me on vacation. I got a surprise for y'all.
Uh-oh.
So we officially have a new double down bag.
Uh-oh.
We officially have a new double down bag. It's a lot bigger than the Crown Royal bag. We officially have a new double down bag.
Let's load it up.
We got some
Good
goodies
deal.
in here. We got some goodies in here.
A bigger bag is for bigger investments.
Yeah, we got a few goodies in here. But let me see. I'm trying to pull out some goodies. We ain't gonna pull out the goodie. Let's just know that we have a bigger double down bag.
And we'll work on getting
last time we flashed money on the show.
Gotta take it. We're not gonna be able to do that no more. I guess
last time we flashed money on the show.
Oh
yes,
Lord.
We can't do that no more.
Well, we'll work on getting a logo put on that bag. We'll get a double down logo on it.
Actually, I got a logo already on the bag. I just can't show it. It's on the front of the bag.
Okay. All right.
This is the back of the bag. On the front of the bag, there's a logo, but that logo is not child friendly. Not child friendly. But
there ain't much there that's child friendly.
No, but I think we had a very good show that flowed. I think we hit a lot of information. We're at pretty good time. I mean, it's pretty good time. So
yeah,
I think each week we're getting better. The picks are getting.
You say that is the hell needs Joey.
No. See, Joey, me and you and Major together, we get argumentative. So.
I'll tell you something else that helps. I'm gonna have to get some of these headphones.
So we just put all the Auburn fans on here.
Yeah,
I got to get some of these headphones so I can hear, because when I don't have them, there's a lag, and we're like stopping to let another one talk, and that adds up and adds up and adds up and adds up to more minutes when we're doing this. So I'm gonna try to get me a pair of these headphones this week so that. Because I can hear what you're saying live with these headphones on rather than waiting for it to come across. So
now I don't know what y'all's schedule looks like, but due to my investment portfolio, I do get a lot of perks down in the IP in Biloxi. Ooh. I would love to go down there and actually sit in the sports book and do a live show. We got to do that before the season, before the sports season ends. Either on a Saturday that we're off, or Sunday, or a Monday.
Oh shit! I was gonna say I'm actually probably going over there next Friday night with my dad. But
Okay. Well, I want to do one live because what I want to do is this is probably something that we need to talk about, just the three of us, not on live. But since we're on live, I would love to go down there on live and actually put a ticket in, actually put a legit double down ticket in on live, and then see if it cashes out. I would love to do it. I would love to do that.
I'm down.
So either we're gonna be eating good or we're gonna be walking across the street going to McDonald's.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Hey, if it hits, are you taking me and Joey to Ruth's Chris?
Oh yeah,
I'm fine with either.
Hey, we can go to Ruth Chris and have somebody cut our steak up and feed it to us.
Better be going somewhere better than Ruth Chris.
So, but we'll get this is Joey's show, so I'll let Joey end it off. But I mean, we got a lot of big things planned for Double Down Sports and for Unrivaled Sports. We're continue to grow. I got an idea that I'm gonna pitch to both of y'all. Also, I do owe y'all some changalang, so I got to figure out the best way to get that to y'all too, as far as people subscribing. So I'm actually going to breaking news. I left it in the Facebook group, but I'm actually going to be releasing Double Down Sports to my Instagram followers as well. So I'm also almost done. I'm also almost done with the free version of it too. So the free version will be just us talking sports, talking, sports banner between each other. But that's later on down the road. But anyways, Joey, that's all I got.
Joey, are you going to end it when we get done?
Yeah, I'm going to end it.
Okay. Just real quick, I told everybody I'd give them some fantasy sports, daily fantasy sports. So real quick, I'm just going to tell you my lineup. I'm just going to give you my lineup this week and see where it goes. I've got Dak Prescott at quarterback. I've got Brian Robinson Jr. at running back, Kenneth Walker at running back going up against the Chargers. I've got Jamar Chase at wide receiver going up against Atlanta. I've got Michael Gallup stacked with Dak Prescott against Detroit, who is terrible. I've got Alex Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts going up against Tennessee. I've got Hayden Hurst going up against Atlanta at tight end. Atlanta's terrible at covering the tight end position, so I think Burrow will have a pretty decent game there. And then I'm going Leonard Fournette. I'm giving him another chance. He's been playing big and getting a lot of points this week. And then Dylan, the reason I like the Jets this week is I've got the Jets as my defense in fantasy point or in fantasy daily fantasy this week. So the Jets defense against Denver, I like it. And then college rundown real quick. My college, excuse me, I keep saying like Jesus Christ. My college lineup this week: quarterback Dart from Ole Miss. Stanford running back Filkins, Arizona State running back Valladay, Boston College wide receivers Zay Flowers, West Virginia wide receiver Prather, Oklahoma State wide receiver John Paul Richardson, running back Zach Charbonnet from UCLA, and stacking a quarterback at the super flex going with Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State. So there's 2 lineups for this weekend, both college and NFL.
Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging on to the show tonight, doing everything, and I mean, it really was a good show. I watched it. High school was great. When we touched on everything, we went to college. You get NFL in, talked NBA for a minute. So thank y'all for holding it down. And Major, I'm gonna let you close it out because it just don't sound good when like this. I'll let you shut it down for me.
All right, guys. Well, look, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We're gonna continue growing. We got Cash Money Malone. We got Joey Pierce. I'm Major War Down Eagle. Cash Money Malone. Go ahead with it.
Hey, more money, more problems, but over here we just get paid.
That's right. Joey, give us one. Roll Tide.
Is that what you meant?
All right, bye, y'all.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night, everybody. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace out.
See y'all.
See you, old horse voice.
Peace.